Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to dim the lights, lock the front door, and step directly into what is, without a doubt, one of the internet's absolute most terrifying rituals. We're exploring a phenomenon here that has completely gripped online forums, inspired movies, and literally convinced thousands of people to voluntarily invite a supernatural entity into their homes. Okay, so let's just dive right into this. You might want to make sure you're comfortable, maybe leave a lamp on, because the details of what we are about to uncover are genuinely chilling. We're going to look at the meticulous, the pedantic, and the downright terrifying ordeal known to thrill seekers simply as the midnight game. So, I want you to imagine this just for a second. It's approaching midnight. Your house is completely pin-drop silent. You are about to plunge your entire home into pitch-black darkness. And not to go to sleep. No, you're doing this to issue an invitation. This isn't some harmless prank or a family board game. Actually, scratch that. It's not a game at all. According to the lore, this is a high-stakes survival challenge where the penalty for losing isn't just a bruised ego. We're talking about the absolute shattering of your mind. Or, as some of the wilder accounts out there claim, having your organs removed one by one. So I have to ask you directly, would you really risk your life or your sanity just to see if the monsters are real? Section 1, the invitation. You see, you can't just stumble into the midnight game by accident. It demands a very specific, very eerie preparation. You have to gather a candle, some salt, a piece of paper, and a pin. The instructions here are blood-bound and absolutely non-negotiable. First, you write out your full name, first, middle, and last. Then, you sterilize that pin, prick your finger, and squeeze until a drop of your own literal blood soaks right into the paper. Kind of sets the mood, right? Next, you turn off every single light in your home, every single one. You place that blood-stained paper in front of a closed wooden door, and you set a lit candle right on top of it. And then, the countdown begins. You must knock on that door exactly 22 times. But here is the catch, and it's a huge one. The 20-second knock has to happen at the exact precise second the clock strikes 12 a.m. You are literally counting down to the midnight hour, totally alone in the dark. Now, if you've timed it perfectly, you execute this highly specific sequence. You open the wooden door. You lean down and blow out your candle, completely plunging yourself into absolute blinding darkness. And then, you close the door. According to the legend, that brief, terrifying moment of darkness, that's the threshold. That is the exact second you have officially invited the entity known as the Midnight Man into your home. The rules strictly dictate you must relight your candle immediately. The game is now officially begun, and he is inside with you. Section 2. Rules of survival. Once he's inside, notice how the game aggressively strips away every single modern comfort you have. Do not turn on the lights. Do not use a flashlight. No cell phone lights, nothing. You are navigating your own home using only the tiny flickering glow of a single candle. Do not go to sleep. Do not attempt to leave your home under any circumstances. If you panic and run out the front door, the lore warns he will catch you instantly. And whatever you do, do not provoke the entity. The source materials are just packed with warnings from supposed players claiming that breaking even one of these rules invites immediate, horrific hallucinations of your worst fears, deep physical scratches, or, that whole organ removal thing we talked about. You are effectively trapped in your own house, and you are playing by his rules now. So as you wander your dark halls, you're constantly looking for signs of his approach. What are those signs? A sudden, freezing drop in temperature. Maybe a soft whisper coming from an empty room, or catching a glimpse of a humanoid figure shifting in the shadows. But the absolute most terrifying sign, it's your candle suddenly going out. If your candle extinguishes, it means the Midnight Man is standing right next to you, and you have exactly 10 agonizing seconds to strike a match and relight that candle. Just think about that. 10 seconds in the pitch black, your hands shaking, knowing something is inches away, just waiting for you to fumble. But what if you fail? What if you're so terrified, your hands are shaking so badly that the match breaks, or the lighter just won't spark, and those 10 seconds run out? Well, the rules offer one final, incredibly desperate defense. You must immediately drop to the floor and surround yourself with a completely closed circle of salt. If you manage to close that circle before he gets you, you are trapped inside it. You absolutely cannot leave that tiny ring of salt for the remainder of the night. You just have to sit there, huddled in the dark, knowing the entity is pacing right outside your makeshift barrier. And how long do you have to endure this suffocating tension? Until 3:33 a.m. This is the absolute climax of the game. In paranormal folklore, the hours between 3 and 4 a.m. are widely considered the bewitching hour, an inversion of the Holy Trinity, the time where the boundary between worlds is at its thinnest. But at exactly 3:33 a.m., the Midnight Man supposedly leaves your home. Only then is it finally safe to step out of the salt, take a breath, and turn on the lights. If you made it to 3:33, you survived.
It's an absolutely fantastic, deeply terrifying campfire story, right? It's exactly the kind of tale that makes you want to look over your shoulder when you walk down a dark hallway. But let's hit pause for a second and ask the most absolutely crucial question. Is it truly real? Okay, we're going to dramatically shift gears here. Let's turn the lights back on, step out of that salt circle, and use our analytical minds to completely gut this legend. We are going to tear it apart and see what really makes it tick. Because honestly, the true origin of this game is far, far more fascinating than any ghost story.
Section 3. Gutting the legend.
So the lore insists, quite aggressively, that this was some sort of ancient pagan ritual. Stories circulated online about village elders locking accused criminals in dark caves with a drop of blood, knocking 22 times to summon a clairvoyant pagan judge to punish the guilty. It sounds deeply historical, very grim, very real. But it is entirely fabricated. The real origin? It's a creepypasta, a piece of internet horror fiction. If you dig into it, the absolute oldest version of the Midnight Game instructions that can be found anywhere on the internet dates back to August 2010. Let me repeat that. There is zero historical, pagan, or academic record of this before a creative writer typed it up for a horror forum online. It's completely made up.
Section 4. Digital folklore and legend tripping.
Now, as highlighted in academic journals analyzing folk narratives, urban legends are undergoing a massive transition right now. In the past, folklore was transmitted orally, right? You heard about Bloody Mary from a friend at a sleepover. But today, these narratives undergo significant structural transformations in digital spaces. Scholars note that these modern internet stories reflect contemporary anxieties, and crucially, they demand participation. The internet hasn't erased folk culture at all, it has totally amplified it. It's turning readers from passive consumers of a spooky story into active participants who literally co-create the horror.
And this brings us perfectly to the concept of legend tripping. Now, traditionally, legend tripping meant a bunch of teenagers sneaking into a supposedly haunted cemetery at midnight just to see if they could spot a ghost. It was a physical journey, but modern digital horror has localized it. As researchers point out, performing the midnight game in your own home with your own candle and your own salt is the digitized at-home version of that exact same impulse. You don't have to drive out to a creepy abandoned hospital anymore. The internet provides you with the seeds, or think of them as the cheat codes, the ritual steps, to transform your perfectly safe, boring living room into a haunted liminal space. Platforms like the Creepypasta Wiki, Reddit's r/NoSleep, and viral YouTube challenge channels actively gamify this folklore. It's brilliant, really. On Reddit, stories are told in the first person, and the interactive comment sections have this strict rule where they treat the fiction as absolute, undeniable fact. It builds immersion. Then you have YouTube creators filming themselves in the dark, adding spooky visual effects and suspense-building editing. These platform affordances leverage the viral nature of digital communication perfectly. They take a static text story and turn it into a dynamic, highly participatory global challenge. You aren't just reading it, you're playing it. Section 5. The psychology of fear. I absolutely love this quote from our sources because it hits the nail right on the head. What happens when you spend hours expecting something to appear? Every creak sounds deliberate, every shadow feels alive. Think deeply about the conditions this game forces upon you. You are in pitch black darkness. Your only light source is a flickering, highly unstable candle that naturally casts erratic, moving shadows all over your walls. And because you are terrified, you are hyper-focused on every tiny normal sound your house naturally makes as it settles in the night. The rules of this game are quite literally psychological triggers. By forcing yourself to sneak around in the dark for 3.5 hours, you are artificially inducing heightened stress and extreme paranoia. By strictly forbidding sleep, you are inviting the very real early side effects of sleep deprivation. Your brain is experiencing significant sensory deprivation in that pitch black environment. And here's a fun fact about the human brain. When it lacks visual and auditory input, it tends to manufacture its own, leading to mild, entirely real hallucinations. Add to that the immense power of expectation. You've just performed a blood ritual and firmly convinced yourself a demon is hunting you. When placed under these exact stressful conditions, your brain will dutifully manufacture the very monster it was told to fear. So, the absolutely crucial takeaway here is this. The Midnight Man is the ghost of the internet. He is a modern myth, born purely of code and text, sustained entirely by viral algorithms and human curiosity. He isn't some demon from pagan antiquity at all. He is a psychological manifestation of our own collective desire to be scared. But, and this is important, that doesn't mean the experience isn't real for the person playing. The psychological grip of digital folklore is incredibly powerful. It is fully capable of manipulating our senses and causing genuine, paralyzing panic.
Which leaves us with this final, lingering thought to close out our explainer today. We know the actual internet origins. We've completely debunked the pagan myth. We understand the physiological and psychological triggers at play. The Midnight Man might just be an internet myth, but what actually happens to you when you spend 3 hours alone in the dark, fully expecting to see a monster? The human mind is an incredibly powerful, yet surprisingly fragile thing. Because at the end of the day, the real danger of the midnight game isn't what's waiting for you in the dark. It's what you bring into the dark with you.